Basically, Rosamond High School was designated as a persistently low achieving school based on the fact that they did not receive 50 growth points in the last 5 years. There are schools in the state of California who have consistently had lower test scores than our high school for years and years, but because Rosamond High School did not have 50 growth points in the last 5 years, they were put on this list.
Sure.
Even though our scores are higher than most of the district or school sites that didn't get on the list.
Sure.
So that it was unfair. The state, however, did realize that there may have been somewhat of an error in that, and they've recently put a waiver in through the State Board of Education that was approved today that takes Rosamond High School off of this list of persistently low achieving schools.
So Rosamond was on the list for 1 day or 24 hours, now off the list.
Correct.
This project, the West Campus expansion, is almost complete. Baseball field, new stadium, a renovated stadium, and additional parking on our campus, and a lot of infrastructure work. This campus was opened up in 1960. It was built with 1950 technology, and everything is falling apart. Everything underground is collapsing. And I'm going to say this, I know you haven't eaten yet, but our sewer lines are backing up, our electrical lines are backing up. When this was built, there were no electronic typewriters. Now we have computers and other math stuff. We had to actually upgrade our infrastructure to not only meet our current needs for our facilities, but for the new buildings in the past. We're the only community college in California, this is funded through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We're the only community college, or actually community, in a system, there's 112 community colleges now, that have and there's 23 middle college high school programs. We're the only ones, or the first one, to actually build a high school on our campus. There's 400 students here. They are, many of them are first time, and this is a special qualification for them. We have the largest enrollment of any of the high schools, middle college high schools in the state of California. They had the highest API score in the valley, at 871 of those students. Next year we'll have 400 students. This is the only place in California where students can start in the 9th grade, and where Cal State Bakersfield has been located, can complete a master's degree in one location.
Ran on his crutches all the way from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Wow.
Crutches, and he was the main speaker for the week, and most of his talks he talked about how he overcame some things and how he became a talker and a leader, and yeah, he was just a great speaker. They did activities for group leading, for team building and group building and all that. And our team was called Children of the World, and we had to make a poster, and that poster will be shown at the district conference. So if you guys go, you'll see it there.
My hobby is flying gliders, and I figured out how to use the mountain wave to make really fast flights. And last year I did 7 world records. One of them, which was 623 miles in an ultralight glider that weighed 155 pounds, was chosen by the National Aeronautic Association as one of the most memorable records of the year.
Wow.
And they gave me a certificate in Washington last week in honor of that flight. It's amazing what you can do, the amazing energy in the atmosphere. People don't realize that on a good wave day, how much energy there really is there, and
Sure.
how far and how fast you can go in just a glider with no power.
Would you try it again?
Oh, absolutely.
For
yeah.
longer distance or something?
Well, there's this online contest where they count your 6 best flights of the year. We're just coming up on the good season here at Rosamond. So in the next 6 to 8 weeks is a peak season for wave flying. So
I see.
I'll try some more long flights in the next few weeks. When you look at what's happening in the country, especially at the national level, there's a lot of things going on in politics that are actually pretty scary. If you look at the things that made America great, you know, the freedom that people had to basically do free enterprise and conduct their own affairs, a lot of that's going to go away if Washington has its way. You know, the cap and trade legislation, the so-called Obamacare, all of those would have major impacts on our ability to exercise our freedoms. And further, the deficit that is being driven up by the spending that's going on in Washington is a crime against our kids. You know, somebody's got to pay that back, or the country's going to go bankrupt, and the political system will collapse, and we'll end up with some system that will restrict all of our freedoms and kind of put us back many years. And I'd like my grandkids to have the same opportunities that I had. And if we don't stand up, things will go the way we don't want them to.
How many members does your assembly have?
We currently have 27 members. Anybody that's interested could just send me an email, jim@jpaviation.us.
Okay, good. Is there any charge or anything?
The membership fee is, as I recall, $25 for an individual and $40 for a family. And that just covers publications. And we've been having monthly meetings. First Tuesday of each month at my house.
We have had our first meeting with our attorneys that will be representing our teachers that have been laid off for the RIF hearings. What that means to the board and to the district is that now the clock's ticking, and with every email, which I get 3 or 4 a day, so do your attorneys, with every phone call, which there are many of, with every time our attorney opens up the file to look at Southern Kern, we're being billed, and you're being billed. And the sooner we can get this matter taken care of, the more money we'll save.
It was the 63rd annual this year, so we can go to the next slide. Kern County middle and junior high school students in choir, orchestra, and band are at this event. These students are auditioned in order to gain entrance to the festival. Even in the choir, students are auditioned by 3 different judges each, and they have to sing their part and show that they can do it. It's quite nerve-wracking, and certainly the band students have to play their scales, and they have to play their prepared piece for judges, and they're scored and ranked, and the people that don't make a high enough ranking are cut. Here we see the band students, Jose and Angel Mondragon, flute and trombone, Samantha Torres on the clarinet, Gerson Gomez and Austin Leonardo were playing trumpet, and John Ferrandini Jr. Was a mallet player.
Recognition of your participation in the Honor Orchestra, Chorus, or Band, February 25th, 2010. And these are the band students. Some of them are wearing their pins. They received an honor pin for being in the group, and if they're in the group 2 years, you'll see they have 2, and 3 years of 3. Angel Mondragon. This is Samantha Torres. Gerson Gomez.
These are the names of the choir students. Quite a few altos, as you can see. The sopranos listed at the top: Brittany Ryan and Brianna Cohn, Autumn Wagner, Megan Snyder, Clara Orozco, Hannah Olson, Jasmine Jambahan, Catherine Hughes, Heidi Griesby, Melissa Finch, Brittany Kristolaw, Ember Witten, Summer Borse, and Crystal Borse. We also had Jasmine Arnold and Benjamin Carr down there as a baritone.
It really was quite a feat. I keep saying this, and I don't think everybody really understands it. At the beginning of this process, I told my choir, I said, let's get 50% of you in this group. That's a huge number to hit. And the number was like 49 point something like that. It was just almost right there. So I told them that they did it. I was really proud of them. Jasmine Arnold. Ben Carr.
Good.
Hannah Olson. Figure it out. Megan Schneider.